Welcome back. My name is Zezashetan, and this is Minecraft. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Um, if you guys have been watching my streams, I had mentioned about a month and a half ago, somewhere around a month ago, I actually had one of my hard drives go bad, which meant that I had to uh, reinstall all of my software. And one of the things that happened when I reinstalled all of my software, it set some of my settings. The recording software that I use right now to record this little clip here is Bandicam, and for some unknown reason, it reset to AVI as the video type for the video. Um, the video editing software that I use is Magix, and for some unknown reason, Magix and AVI don't get along, so I lost an entire episode of recorded video. Now, I will get back to that at some point. There is a little spoiler right behind you, one of the things that I did. But in the meantime, I did actually record some things about a few months back before I released a couple videos. I mean, just going back into my previous worlds and just taking a look at them and just going through the nostalgia of it all. And so, what I'm actually going to do is just cut over to that, and we're just going to do a look back on memory lane. Now, if you do like what you see, please give a like. If you'd like to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell down in the lower right. Leave a comment if you have anything to suggest, and we will get back to normal episodes on the next video. But I hope you like it. So this is my first world, and the funny thing about my Minecraft journey is that my first video didn't have anything to do with me wanting to actually be a YouTuber with Minecraft or anything along those lines. So I had started playing Minecraft just out of pure boredom, and I built a small little house. And within that small little house, I wanted to show my friends. I did not have a way to show them, so I created a short, I think it's like a 10-minute video of me walking around everything. And so their first response on the house was that, why is it so small? And it was small. It was basically, I think, these two blocks right here. And so I was like, small, I'll show you. And so I built it up, and I had continued working on beyond that. So this was the first house that I had built, and surprisingly enough, it's actually not that bad of a design, especially for the first house that I'd built. Um, when you really think about it, most of the time you just get one block, and I did seem to add a whole bunch of different shapes and stuff like that. A lot of other things that, oh man, glass windows in this, just they don't work for this. And I'll bring that up here later on because, again, I I tried to rebuild this in a later season and I didn't use glass windows, and it looks a lot better. Another thing is one block. I used one block. Now, granted, when I built this, I had probably been playing Minecraft for a week, maybe 2 weeks at the most, and so with that being said, it does look halfway decent. And this is back in Minecraft 1.6 or something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure, so there weren't a whole lot of different blocks, but there was there. But there are a few things I do like about this. I do like this little courtyard here with all the trees in it. It was my tree farm that I used. Allowed me to farm trees without the risk of zombies and spiders and other stuff. But I like this house. One of the second things I built on this world was this little boat here. It was hilarious because in the video that I made when I built this was that I thought it looked pretty good for something that is just made out of blocks. no, before I started playing Minecraft, I was a huge fan of things like Legos and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons why when I started playing this, playing Minecraft, I actually kind of attached to it because of just Lego blocks sitting on top of each other. Now, I never invented something new off of Lego blocks. Generally, built something else that somebody else had built, but still, it was it really hit me in a good place. Um, this is nonchalant. Now, between these two buildings here, I'm not exactly sure on which of these two buildings I built first. This was my first attempt at redstone, which is broken now. It does not work. I should open that up. Yeah. So it's supposed to push the bars up, I think. Maybe that's not supposed to be sticky pistons. Maybe something's broke beyond that. But there's pistons all up in here, and there's pistons down below here. And I should just put myself in. Okay, game mode. So I had a whole bunch of redstone down here, and I don't remember who I took this design off of. It'd be something I'd have to go online. And if you look at it, it's actually what a spaghetti mess this thing is. But yeah, it was my first attempt at redstone. I do a lot more redstone now. I did like the design just a little bit. Again, the glass windows. Oh man, glass windows for castles is no, it does not work. It is two-toned at least with the with the cobblestone on top of the brick. The one thing I don't like about this is that it's not solid. It's just a wall. Um, Most of my builds nowadays, you'll actually see an actual building, me, not me sitting here and trying to make something up. And then I built this. I'm actually pretty happy with this building. Even now when I look at it, now the main issue is that it's a square. It's a cube. That's what it is. Funny story about this building though. I burnt it down after I built it. I had a fire in here and it caught the whole building on fire. Learning those Minecraft mechanics. But yeah, another thing I did wrong is that this is built too close to the castle, so I couldn't do the overhang on the backside. But the one thing I seem to find a lot with my builds, something I'm going to have to push myself away from, is that I tend to do cubes. And cubes, though they're okay, they're not great. Here's my first attempt at a tree and some bushes and a tree. I think that I used to believe that you had to put logs underneath these in order for them to stay there. That's not true. You don't have to do that. But then I built this. Now this is based off of a castle, or not a castle, but a church. It's either in England or it's in Wales or something like that. But I took a picture and then built this. I do like this building. The only problem I do have with it is, oh my god, the mossy cobblestone. I don't know why I use this much mossy cobblestone. I'm actually kind of curious on where I got it all too, because you could not craft it at this point, and so I would have had have gotten it from somewhere. I don't know, but that's a lot of mossy cobblestone. I wonder where I got all that. That's probably why why I didn't use it in a lot of other stuff. But I wanted it to be one of those things where the church was there and then the tower was added on. That's the reason why there's different bricks. Um, and that's the reason why this is here. There was some thought in here. I did have some thoughts on what I wanted to look like, but I think that maybe some of what I did was kind of bad. This was the old design for chairs. This is how you used to make chairs. And there was this, and now that can be replaced by a lectern. My attempt at candles. But yeah, so this was one of my last builds that I did on this map. After that, I started this, and if you're curious, this is all no, absolutely no beacons. I did not get my first beacon until the next map, and so from all the way up, which this was kind of a hill here, all the way down, that was all manually, and this took forever. This was me with a pick, 8 hours a day, taking like 4 or 5 layers off. And so this took me, just where it is right now, more than a few weeks to actually clean out. So I didn't build much beyond that because I don't know what it is with me, but I like to do large dig outs of stuff, and I'm trying to get away from that on the most recent world if I don't have to, just because it realistically is just a waste of time. You get nothing out of it. You get a lot of materials for building, but that's all you get. But yeah, so between that building the boat and these, I mean, I think I did an alright job for my first month, 2 months of playing the game. This right here, I did try to build in, like I said, in a later season. I have a few complaints about that one too, once we actually get to it. But yeah, for the most part. So I'm going to switch over to my next world and we'll take a look at some other things. Now we make it over to my second world. Now, one of the reasons why I switched worlds was because I had moved, and my new location, I didn't have my old computer which had my old world, so it brings it brings us to this. I started a new world. And this was the first building that I built. I wanted to use red brick. I was really excited about red brick. And yeah, so I mined a whole bunch of the area around here of the clay and made a whole bunch of red brick and built a building. Now this right here was probably the first time I actually went through and did decorations, and it looks nice. It's all right. I think that there are some issues here, but I think I could do better if I tried. This is hilarious. Back behind this wall is fences, if I remember right. No, no, I took the fences out. Okay. Uh, let's go ahead and just replace this for continuity's sake. But use paintings. Try to make actual furniture off of what we had. Now, one of my main issues I have with this building is that, well, let's look at the pros of this building. The one thing I did do is I try to add a lot of shapes on here that weren't included within the bricks. Try to add some contrast, like with the slabs next to the bricks. If I was to do this now, I'd probably do the smooth stone now, just full smooth stone. But yeah, no, the main issue with this is that it's a cube again. It's definitely a cube again. I did end up coming through here. At one point, it was just this. There wasn't much in the yard. Then I came back and I did, once I got the potzel here, came through and actually did the yard to make it look good, though most of it is just, I think, bone meal spam, which now that I look at it, doesn't look as good, just looks like bone meal spam. Then I built this back here. I actually like this. This is probably one of my favorite things that I had built. Now, when I built this, I used a texture pack, and the texture pack made this look completely different. So the slabs here did not look like this. They kind of look like concrete more than they look like these slabs. But it still looks pretty nice. Definitely. My attempt at trying new lighting. I just saw a Enderman just teleport to me and then teleport away because of the rain. But yeah, so I first time I tried something like this, and then I built what's over here. Oh, by the way, I really like this fence. This fence looks nice, and I may try to do this fence again and change it up just a little bit. I think I tried stairs down here, but I didn't like the stairs. I tried stairs up here. I didn't like the stairs. I had tried stairs in this, but I didn't like the way it looked. So if we move away from that, we come to this, and I kind of like what I did here. And I do. The only issue is that it's a bunch of squares. Squares put together like building tiles. Now, I could easily change this up that if I was actually connected this building to that instead of being separate buildings, I think it would look nice. The church here. Sometimes I forget I did stuff. Had this little pond. It actually has a thing where it's supposed to be flowing down from here and then flowing over to here. There's nothing actually there. You could do it now. You can make it look like it with slabs and stairs. Have them waterlogged. It looked probably a little bit better than what it looks right now. But yeah, try to do a whole bunch of water features. These flowers, though, they look not organic in placement, but I tried. And then with a little pond back here. This was my enchanting station first, and then I moved it. Now, on this world, I think was the first time I'd actually been to the Nether. The last world, I had not been to the Nether, maybe for 2 minutes, but it scared the crap out of me, so I didn't go there very often. Now, if I was to combine my first world's church with this kind of a layout, I think it will look a lot better. Just to have this abbot's walls around, and then remove this mossy cobblestone. Mossy cobblestone's fine. It's just that when it's packed in like this, it looks horrible. And then I moved over to build my barn. This barn actually looks pretty nice, though it's kind of monotone in color. I think they just added hay blocks. And my horse. I have a donkey too, but the donkey is like all the way over there. This is my second donkey. But yeah, now that I look at that, that doesn't look very good. And I think maybe it looked better in my texture pack that I put there before. This doesn't look good either. Uh, yeah, that definitely does not look good. But that could be done better with newer materials. And then my smithy. My smithy is the most dangerous place in this whole area because it's actual lava. Oh man. Now it was safe for me. I was never going to try to jump in there, but the fact I have actual lava in there. You can do that now with magma blocks, what I was trying to do here. And then the little smithy home. I actually don't like the way this looks. That looks horrible. And yeah, it's definitely wanting. That house over there is basically almost the same design as that one. Again, it's wanting. This bridge is definitely wanting. It goes down to my storage down below. There is a button right there, and has a T flip flop in the back here that closes and opens a door. I did a lot of redstone in this world, at least starting out redstone. Matter of fact, uh, this little farm right here was my first introduction to the Hermitcraft server, for me watching, because I saw this, and I think this is a Zoom Avoid, and then I took that and continue watching other videos, and now I watch a lot of them now. But yeah, that was my first introduction, and watching one of the Zoom Avoid's videos recently, I think that was a introduction to him from a lot of people. So after I built that, I found a zombie spawner down below here, and I used that to cure villagers. There's actually a lot of villagers missing. There should be a lot more in here. I think a zombie got in there and killed a whole bunch before the golems killed it. But I mean, there are a lot of decorations in here. I do have some issues with the outside here. Man, I don't know what I was thinking with all this red, or all this brick. So much brick. Now I'd probably use something else to do this. This was also before concrete, so you use wool for solid colors. Yeah, see the door's missing right here. But I just made kind of a hospital thing. I thought it was funny to make a hospital just because I was curing villagers. So if you go out here, there is right there. I'd bring them in here, cure them in here, and then go from there. Actually, with the new mechanics, with all these beds, probably turn this into a breeder. A lot of glass. I was trying to do something modern. My first attempt at something modern. The bricks kind of ruin it for me. Now that I take a look at this, I'm not sure I like this glass here. I don't know what I was thinking with this glass, but and it is, at least it's not a cube. It is an L shape though, which is not any better. I did do a sign though. Is it correct? Hey, what do you know? That's actual correct. Hmm. Good on me. No, I'd built the iron farm. This iron farm is so far broken, and I don't think it worked really well before this. And I tried to decorate it just a little bit. Made it look like a cup or something. I don't know what I was going for, but if you're wondering what these slabs are, in this world, everything was broken down into. I don't know if they were sectioned. I forget what the actual math was. It was based on the first house, the amount of space I took for the first house, and then I just started to space it out the rest of it. I think it's actually 27 by 27. Yeah, that sounds about right. Or 29 by 29, somewhere around there. Because the farms actually fit perfectly within the areas. This right here was my gold farm slash mob farm, and there was a lot of things that this had issues with. But the one thing I made a mistake with is that this, it was the worst idea ever, and I only put a couple pieces on here, and it just took over the whole thing. And it looks like it's still creeping up. It's still creeping up, but I had a lot of big plans for this. The only problem is that this project I think was too big for me, and this was as far as I got. And then I'm going to move over to the last place I was building. So this is one of the last places I was building at on this world, and this is probably one of the one build, especially in this world, that I'm the most proud of, is because I think it looks really good. There's a lot of things that could be done. I could switch out some of this stone brick with some like cracked stone brick, or some mossy stone brick, or some cobblestone, just to give it a little bit more of a different color and stuff like that. Now, things like andesite, granite, and all that stuff wasn't introduced into the game yet, so that would not have been on this. But still, it looked pretty nice. Like this over here, I thought I did a really good job. I was trying to do a tower that had fallen, so I wanted it to look more crumbled and stuff like that. The courtyard here looks actually really nice, though I think the bone meal spam is a little bit too much, and I'd probably want to go out and clean that up. And yeah, and some of these rooms, this was my throne room. It looks alright for the time. I don't know what I would do different though. Probably add a whole bunch of different types of blocks. You know, that's the big difference between back then and now, is we do tend to have a lot more blocks. Hey, there's my actual donkey. I wonder, do you have anything on you? No, you don't. Let me off. So, like these gates over here, I really liked. I had to think really long and hard on how I wanted these gates. Didn't lightning just hit? Hey, go away. Yeah, it is lightning. But I mean, I had a lot of plans that I wanted to do for this world. On this right here, it never panned out. Like I had the start of a bridge right here that was going to have a little ramp that went up, and it had another one of these towers over here. One of the things that I tried really hard is to do these meticulations, and I think it was alright. It's probably not the best. Oops, ding. But it was probably the best I can do at that point. I think there's things I could do different now. Like, there's no meticulations up here. Could have put some there. So this was probably one of my favorite builds. I really didn't go to the end on this. Matter of fact, I absolutely didn't go to the end. This is actually the end castle. That was the whole purpose of this. The end is right down below here on a tunnel that goes down that way. And I found the end dungeon, which I can't think of the name right now. And after I found it, and I found the portal, I came up here and started building this up here. And I was actually planning to put cracked stone and stuff like that, which you could not craft at this point. It was available right after this. But so I was going to change this because I had saved all of the actual stone, all that. I cleared everything out. Like, there is not a single bit of the actual fortress here actually left, because I wanted to use it for building, and this was before you could actually craft all this stuff. So here's the portal. And I did find out here recently that I never went to the end, because I jumped in the end portal to see if I'd done anything in there, and the dragon fight showed up. So there wasn't much in here. All the chests up there, all these chests have the supplies from the actual from the actual place down below. I did go to the Nether. I built some stuff in the Nether, but it's just a tower that is built out of Nether brick, so it looks horrible. But again, this is still one of my favorite builds up to this point. I put a lot of thought into it. That's probably one of the reasons why it was one of my favorite builds. At this point, though, in my life, my wife and I, at that well, girlfriend at that point, but my who would soon be my wife, we moved into a place together, and we were living in a house of other people, and I didn't have recording space, so I could not record, and so that kind of tailed off. And then in between that time, they introduced a lot of bricks, and so instead of continuing this world, because I had mapped out a large portion of this world, mainly because of the fact that I wanted to find a jungle, and there was no jungle near this spawn. So yeah, that was this world. This world is one of the reasons actually why I'm making this video. Mainly because I really like redstone. I like automating stuff. And one thing I've noticed is that I've been actually doing that too much. And so I kind of want to get back to building, because I have a lot of things that I've started on my current world that can be updated and fixed. Like my central base, which is supposed to be a tower, is still a pile of dirt. And I think that I should actually be working on that. So just kind of just an open thought that I'm actually planning on doing a lot of building recently. But let's go ahead and head to the next world. So this is the third world, and this one actually has a lot of interesting stories to it. It's because I had started this world, and shortly after starting it, I was playing during a bad storm, power went out, and it completely corrupted my world. Where to the point where a lot of the chunks reset, and then out of frustration, I just deleted the world. And luckily, I still had this from one of my backups that I had made to the world before that. But I did do a lot here. This right here, the path block was just added when I did this, but I am kind of happy with this. Actually, I'm more than kind of. I am happy with it, because like this right here, um, it's nice because it has a lot of contrast and colors. So is this. Ugh. All right. So I had a texture pack where andesite actually looked decent, and it doesn't in the normal texture pack. It looks kind of bad. It was just there to add different colors to it. I'd probably switch that out with something else. If I was going to go with a white color, probably a concrete block or something. But yeah, so I had initially started with this bridge. Actually, I think I built that house over there first. Maybe. But I had built this bridge, and I do like this bridge. I might actually use this bridge again, because all of the designs in this bridge look nice to me. Maybe add some different color, like some different wood blocks or something like that, just to change the color up, so just not two colors, but more than two. Much like this has three colors on it, which is probably correct for basic building. Um, Otherwise, stuff can tend to get a little bit more crowded. Remove this andesite to something else. And then I had built this bar over here, and I actually really like this bar. I was looking at this once I had found this world recently, and I realized that I actually, yeah, I mean, it's not the best thing in the world, but it is here. This was just meant to be a dock bar. It is built on a little island there. and it's probably one of my, see, the thing about this one right here is that I tried not to do just one shape, and I was very conscious of doing that when I did this. So like the small lower overhangs were intended just so it's not one shape. I had built a ship here where this fishing farm is, after the fact, and I may download and put a video here from my YouTube just showing what it looks like. I don't think it ended up in a YouTube video as a showcase, but the ship was there. At this point, the world got corrupted. I didn't do anything in the Nether except for go visit. Actually, I don't even think I visited the Nether in this map. Is there a Nether portal down here? There is not a Nether portal down here. So, I did not. That's the answer to that question. I did not. But the chunks were corrupted, and I really like this map. This map here was actually pretty decent, so I started up on a new map. And this was the new map. And I had been to the Nether here. I did get a beacon. I don't think I did much besides get the beacon in there. But yeah, so that's that island that the actual bar was placed on. I mean, here I didn't do much. This was mainly me digging. Is this? So this area right here was basically just ended up being resource farming. And so there were 3 spawners in this area. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this map. Actually, at the time I knew there was 2 spawners. There is the zombie spawner right here, and there's a spider spawner right here. When the chunks got corrupted, it destroyed both these spawners. That was one of the reasons why I reset the world. Now, in hindsight, I could have went back to that save that I had, because I do believe I had it at the time, and just continued on from there. I just would have had to redo everything. I don't know what I was thinking. I think it was a little bit too frustrated that I lost everything. And this was a skeleton spawner down here. Now, I rarely ever use this skeleton spawner. It's just here to get bones when I needed them. Shortly after this, I did build the mob farm, and that basically changed everything. But at this point, I wanted to do stuff just in the spawn chunks. I like working in the spawn chunks, and that's what started this over here. Now, I will say at this point on the map, something happened with me. As you can see, there weren't any actual buildings here. I moved away from actually wanting to do actual buildings and working specifically on farms. And so that's the reason why you have this right here, the mob farm. I did move some villagers over from over there, move it over here. I created a village breeder, and which is now broken. This is my current village breeder design, and it is broken. I also created a lot of farms. This was initially my remove carrots from people's inventory spot. And there's a lot of railing here too. But my sugarcane farm, all that stuff, I was really concentrating on just doing all of this. So that's how I did the redstone before. think I think it actually I used less repeaters in the new design, so that is fine. But if you're going to build that farm that I just released and you want to copy the redstone, I would copy this redstone. But nonetheless, so this farm right here is still working. This is probably what my wheat and beet farm is going to. This farm right here is broke. Really sad about that. Villagers will no longer farm like that. But yeah, so I was doing a lot of redstone, I did get the villager set up. I did get a villager trading hall. Now, the original castle that I made, this was my updated version of that, and I actually kind of like it. A little better designed, not just one block, has a lot of shape to it, and switched out the blocks a little bit to give it a different block. Now, the one thing I probably would do now, opposed to what I did then, is I would add some more color to it. This is very monotone in color. Though I think that there was supposed to be a building in the middle here, and this building was going to be where a little bit of the color is, but still I would change out the color. This is a very blah color. So I really didn't do much building into this world besides that. Now I did do some stuff in the nether, or actually in the end. So this is the portal to where my starting base was. This was the area that I was creating or gathering all my wither skulls, all that stuff. But let's go ahead and go to the end. Now, the stuff I did in the end, the artistic stuff I did in the end, I was actually pretty happy with. But it really was the main castle and the farms here in the end are the only artistic things that I did. And I think what happened was with the with the map that was ruined by the chunk loading, which crashed into a thunderstorm, it kind of basically just took the creative juice out of me. And so, yeah, it was kind of just, I don't know, I was kind of spent. And I really need to get back to that creative part. This right here was the Enderman farm. Now, this is a very inefficient farm. It's extremely inefficient. Hindsight being what it is, there are a lot better farms out there. Because it's one thing, it's too high up. As you see, it's equal with the actual island over there. It should be all the way down where that water ends. And in the new world, I do plan on making one that's going to be all the way down there. But yeah, that was kind of a mistake on my part. And then, oops. But in the end, not the location, but the finality of it is that I actually do like this. It is kind of chaotic, and I kind of like the chaotic look of it. I also like the design. It was the first time I actually spent time in the end. First time I killed a dragon on my own. I did it once in a multiplayer world, but this is the first time I actually killed it on my own. All of this stuff led me to just want to build here, use some of these blocks. Of course, the purple blocks were new to this update, so I did use a lot of it. I actually don't mind it. I would never build this in the overworld, but places like the end it's fine. And this was a massive farm. I will never build this farm this large ever again, mainly because there's no need for it. I ran this twice, and then after I ran it, I never used it again. I had all the blocks I would ever need, ever. It is an interesting design, though. It just it's a flush system, flushes all that way, and then you have to go back and reload everything, and that's the reason why this room is in here. But it does load everything back into here, which is nice. Do I have anything here? No. Actually, that would make sense. I would not have anything in here because this was on a server. And I really enjoyed using the ice. I like the design that I built up here just to give it some color and some shape. Actually, the ice color along with the purple actually looks pretty nice together. So if I was to do it again, that's what I would do. But I was trying to get everything together. But this was basically everything I had built up to this point. I didn't build anything in the nether, only for going places and stuff like that. But yeah, but I really do hope that you do like this. Um, and like I said, one of the reasons why I'm just going through basically memory lane on this is that on my current world, I just for some unknown reason got away from building, and I don't think I have a single building built there that is an actual physical building except for farms. And so what I want to do here is actually start building stuff. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go touch up on the village breeder. The village breeder, I had an idea when I first built it, though it doesn't work now. Um, I'm going to go over there, modify everything within that breeder, and then bring it back to an actual to a building and actually what it looks like. So look forward for that in the next video. Another thing I would like to ask you guys is that if you made it to the end of this, if there's any building that you've seen here that I've built and you would like to see me try to update it and do a new version of it, let me know down in the comments and say, hey, the red brick building in season 2, I'd like to see what you can do with the new building of that, and I will make a plan. I will integrate it into one of my buildings. I do have a lot of buildings I do need to build. The what I'm going to do for this season is the village trading hall is actually going to be split up. It's not going to have them all packed together. Um, so there's a lot of possibilities for buildings there. Um, yeah. So say, hey Nathan, that's my name by the way. Hey Zezashetan, build that build that church that you built and with the abbot walls. Build that. And so what I'll go ahead and do is get that built for you guys and try to work on that. But again, I do appreciate any support that you guys do give me, any ideas that you guys can give me, and I hope that as time passes by here in the future, that you guys will really enjoy my builds, and really hoping to get some kind of following. I've been doing this for a very long time, and and probably has to do a lot with the fact that I've started series and ended series, so it's all my fault. But I would like to try to get some kind of following and get going. So if you have liked my videos and you want to share them with people. Shameless plug. But I hope you've enjoyed watching this trip down memory lane for me. I hope you enjoy what's coming in the future. I do promise a lot more just standard buildings and stuff like that instead of just farms, and then we'll go from there. But if you have been watching, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day. Bye.